Hello, and in today's video, I'm going to be showing you all the books that I read in 2023. So the way that I did this was I went to my Goodreads, looked at it, whatever. It says that I read 63 books this year, but could be accurate, could be. But I did notice that some of the books that I had on Goodreads that I know for a fact I read weren't on there. So, in theory, I'm pretty sure I read more than 63 books this year, but they just weren't showing up. So, I could have read more than 63 books, but who knows? Because I don't remember half the books I read. You'll see when I go through this. I have my computer pulled up with my Goodreads, and then I have all the books. I have physical books. So, yeah. I'm just gonna go from January all the way to December. So, here we go. Well, I didn't really think this through when I was piling up my books, because the first book that I read is at the very bottom. Give me a second. The first book I read this, in 2023, is The Rumi Wars. It's technically 3 books, in this one book. I rated it 3 stars. Don't remember much about it. Apparently not. I didn't like it that well. So, the next book, King of Wrath, 5 stars. Love this book. Recommend it. Read it, please. That's all I gotta say. The next book, A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime. I rated this 4 stars. It was good, I guess. It was 4 stars. Yeah. The next book I read was the little extended monologue. I didn't rate it. I don't rate these because there's no point, but it counted. The next book I read, Binding 13, 5 stars. If you take anything out of this video, read Binding 13. Literally, sobbed the entire time. 10 out of 10. Read this book, please. Next, Keeping 13. Read this book. Okay, that's all I gotta say. Read the book. If you read Binding 13 and Keeping 13, you gotta read Binding 13 before you read Keeping 13. So, yeah. The next book, Promises and Pomegranate. 3 stars. Don't remember much about this book, but apparently I didn't like it that much. 3 stars. The next book I don't have the physical copy of, so yeah, I'm just gonna put it on the screen. It is The Single Dad. I rated it 3.5. So, don't remember much. This year, I read a lot of ebooks because I just didn't have time to read physical books because let me forewarn you. In August and September, I didn't read any books in August, actually. Didn't have time. September, I read 1 book. So I didn't get to read as much this year as I wanted to. So that is why I only read 63 books. Next, I read The Pack, 3 stars. Okay, next book, Vines. Don't remember this book, rated it 4 stars. Don't remember it at all. Apparently it was pretty good. Next book, Marry Me Darling. It was a little tiny book, so I didn't read it. So, don't rate books that I can't connect to. So, next book, hands down, 5 stars. Don't remember it though. I mean, I do, but I don't. I just remember it being good. I couldn't tell you. Next book, Sleep Kitten. I rated this 3.5 stars. Couldn't tell you what it was about. Hockey, that's all I know. That's the only reason probably I read it. And then I read A Lie for a Lie, 4 stars. Hockey again, so you see a pattern here. Kiss Now, Lie Later. Rated this 3.5 stars. I think I remember this book, but I don't really, so can you see a pattern here? Like, I don't remember books that I've read. Then I read 4 Months, 3 Words. I rated this 3 stars. I don't remember even reading this book. Like, most of the times I can see the cover of a book and be like, I read that. This cover, this book, couldn't tell you what it was about. I don't know. Don't even remember the characters' names. So, there you go. Otherwise engaged. 3.5 stars. Still, couldn't tell you what this book was about. I'm assuming they were engaged. But not really. So. Next book I read, Trapped with Mr. Walker. I read this 4 stars. Again, don't know. Couldn't tell you. I read a lot of these books when I was like my senior year in high school, so I was reading a bunch of books on my phone because I didn't have anything to do. I was just sitting in class doing nothing. So yeah, that's basically why I have a bunch of ebooks that I have read and that don't have physical copies, because they just weren't memorable and I didn't want them. Like, I didn't want the physical books, so I'm not gonna buy them. So, next book, Things We Hid from the Light. I'm gonna get hate, but it's 3 stars. I did not like it. I wanted to DNF it so bad, but the only reason I didn't is because I wanted to know what was gonna happen at the end. So I just did not like the characters at all whatsoever. Next book, Sinful King, 4 stars. I don't know. Sweet Heartbreak. I rated this 3 stars. I remember a little bit about this book, but not really. And then after that book, I read the Sweetest Temptation. I DNF'd this book. I just could not read it. I tried to read this book within I was reading this book for 3 days and didn't even get 35% of the way with the book. So yeah, I DNF'd that not even real quick. I just could not. I tried. I did not. Next book, Black Ties and White Lies. I need to get the physical book, but I just have not. I read this 4.5 stars. It was almost a 5-star, but it wasn't. I really love this book. Good Girl, Stay Quiet. 2.5 stars. Couldn't tell you what it was about. I don't know. I don't even remember reading it. I don't even know what the book's about. Don't even remember what the cover looks like. I'm about to find out because when I edited this video. Next book, Before We Were Strangers. I did not like this book. 3 stars. I could not stand the characters. I only rated it 3 stars because the plot was okay. By a thread. 3.5 stars. Well, time out. 4.5 stars. Don't know why I said 3. 4.5 stars. I really love this book. Oh my god, it was so good. It was almost 5 stars, but it wasn't. But I recommend reading this book. Next book, Mile High. 5 stars. Love this book with all my heart. Just please read it. Please. After Mile High, I read The Right Move. I don't have the physical copy, but I literally just ordered it, so it's on its way. But yeah, I rated that 5 stars. Love the book. Please read both. To Kin, 3.5 stars. Yeah. Broken Boys Can't Love, 3.5 stars. I don't remember. Next, I read Fresh Meat, 4 stars. I don't know. Stolen Touches, 4 stars. Fake Empire, 4 stars. Practice Makes Perfect. I rated this 0.5 stars. I don't know. I just did not vibe with the book. It just was not one of my favorites. Next book, King of Pride, 5 stars. I recommend it. Read it, please. Please. So good. It's me editing. I just realized that I've read Corrupt, and I didn't put it in here. It was not on my Goodreads. but I did read it, so I rated it 5 stars. Yeah. Next book, Does It Hurt? 5 stars. Please. Look up trigger warnings, but read. Like, this book does keep you on your toes, so I would recommend. The next book I read was Hideaway, and I rated this 5 stars. I'm definitely going to keep reading this series. I love it. I need to get the physical books for both Corrupt and Hideaway. So yeah, I'm going to definitely invest in both the physical books and the rest of the series. I'm going to read the rest of the series for sure. Next book, Pretty and Reckless. Hate this book. 2 stars. Literally 2 stars. I was this close to DNF in it. I don't even know why I read it. I don't even remember buying the book. I just found it on my bookshelf and picked it up. I wish I didn't. I hated it. I hated it so much. Don't recommend. Next, I went down a spiral of books of a series. Yeah. The Bombshell Effect, 4 stars. The X Effect, 4 stars. The Marriage Effect, 4 stars. And then I went to the spin-off series. Focused, 4 stars. Faked, 4 stars. Floored, 3 stars. Didn't really like that book, but it was okay. Forbidden, 4 stars. Overall, I did really love the series. Clearly I kept reading it. I was so interested in all the characters. I was so invested, and I love reading spin-off series with their children and getting to learn more about them. It was really great. I do recommend it. I would read it. It was very fun. Next, I read The Lie. I rated it 4 stars. Next, The Playlist. 5 stars. Please read this book if you love Taylor Swift. It was a bit cringy at times, yes, but I was here for it. Okay? Like, and just look at the cover. Like, it's so worth it. Please read it if you love Taylor Swift. If not, then you do you. Like, that's on you. That's on you. But if you like Taylor Swift, read it. Next book, Be My Game Changer, 3 stars. Don't remember it. Behind the Net, 3 stars. I feel like, in its defense, in the book's defense, I read this book within, like, over a month. The month of August, I was reading this book when I could, which is not very much, I do admit. I feel like if I reread this book right now, which I am going to reread the book, because I feel like it definitely is probably at least a 4-star read. But since I was reading it for a whole month, I didn't really like it, so it was 4 stars. But I am going to reread this book this year, and so yeah. Things We Left Behind, 5 stars. Please read this book. And it is just the perfect ending to the series, like to just the world. Next, I read Body Check. I rated this 4 stars. It was pretty good. Night Shift, I rated this 4 stars. It was okay. It's a little cringy at times, but aren't we all? Aren't we all? Next, I read Collided, 4.5 stars. Almost a 5-star read. It was so good, but it was not 5 stars for me. Read Hunting Adeline at the beginning of the year at some point, but it wasn't on my Goodreads, but I know I read it, because clearly I have the physical book. I remember everything that happened, but I rated it 5 stars, and I will be rereading the series because I did love it. So, yeah. Next, I read The Grimm Effect, 5 stars. Oh my god. It was so nice to be back in the off-campus universe. Oh my god. And then you got to see Garrett and Hannah. Oh my god. It was so good. So good. Next, I read The Final Offer, 3.5 stars. And the funny thing is with this book, I originally picked the book up when it first came out, read about 20%, put the book down. Could not do it. I didn't want to DNF it because I loved it. Like, I knew I was gonna love it. So I put it down. I was like, I'll come back to this later. And I came back to it. And I read it. / listened to it. I read the physical book and I listened to it. I don't know. I had so much potential for this book. and it just didn't live up to it, and it's so sad because I love Cal, but his book was just not it, and I'm so sorry. I wish it was so, like, I wish I would have rated it 5 stars. Next, I read Love Life Farm. I rated this 4 stars. It's the only Christmas book I read this year. I'm probably gonna finish the series since, you know, it's the first book. Probably gonna finish the series because I do want to know what happens. Like, so I was actually pretty interested. It was really good. Next, I read The Roommate Situation. I rated this 3 stars. Next, The Roommate War. Rated this 3 stars. Only reason I kept reading this series was because I was interested to see what their story was, and I didn't like it, so it was just there. Next, I read King of Greed. Again, not that good. Like, it was there. It was 3.5 stars. I rated it 3.5. I just couldn't stand everything that was happening. Like, I really only rated it 3 stars, but I was being gracious and rated it 3.5 because I was feeling nice. Next, I read There's No Sinners, 5 stars. JK, 4 stars. Next book, There Is No Devil, 4 stars. Overall, it's a good series. Like, I loved it, but just each individual one, 4 stars. I feel like there could have been more, but there wasn't. So, but it was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The next book I read was The Worst Kind of Promise. I DNF'd this book. I tried. I read 53% of this book and decided that it was just not for me. I could not stand any of the characters in the book at all. I could not stand them. The last book I read this year, or last year, technically I finished it this year, but I'm gonna count it. Even though it doesn't count in the wrap-up. But Love Interest. I rated this 3 stars. It was interesting. Like, I was thoroughly enjoying it, but it just wasn't there for me. I got lost at some points, and I was confused at some points, and I just didn't like it. It's just was not the best read for me. So this year, my reading goal is 65 books, which is not a lot. I definitely will read more than 65 books this year, but we will see. So this year, my reading goal is 65 books, which is not a lot. I definitely will read more than 65 books this year, but we will see. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Bye!